Welcome back from an ad break. As mentioned, that we'll continue with our topic on the impact of recent legislation on businesses, mainly the BBBEE. We've discussed the basic five, which is your purpose, your impacts, and all that. So now we are looking at the special aspects, which are the BEE versus the BBBEE, and we will also be looking at the pillars of the BBBEE. So these are the special impacts over and above the purpose, the impact, actions, the penalties, and ways to comply with that legislation. So now we'll be focusing on the distinction between BEE and BBBEE. So don't forget, we said this is what? It is a policy. It is a policy, whereas this one, as you know, it is our legislation, or it's an act. Legislation, or as you may call it, it's an act. Do not forget that. Right, so it is a government policy, BEE, which is Black Economic Empowerment. It is a government policy which may not be enforced. Whereas when you look at the BBBEE, it is an act that is enforced. Now, I hope you can see the difference. It's a policy, but that cannot be enforced. But with the BBBEE, it's an act that is enforced or must be complied with by business. Don't forget that failure to comply will result to what? To penalties or consequences. And we don't want those consequences. We don't want to be imprisoned. We don't want to pay the 10% fine. We don't want that. We don't want the government withdrawing or cancelling the contracts, remember. Right. Secondly, BEE benefits only a few previously disadvantaged people in the community. Only a few. Whereas with the BBBEE, it encourages a wider group of the previously disadvantaged people. Now, don't forget these previously disadvantaged people. We're looking at Black women. We're looking at people who are physically challenged, people with disability. We're looking at the youth. We are looking at people in rural areas to participate in the economy. So all of these are also known as the PDPs, or you can call them the previously disadvantaged individuals. Right. BEE, few previously disadvantaged individuals, they share in the wealth of the economy. Now, this will take us back to an introduction of this topic, whereby we said with the purpose, it aims at distributing the country's wealth across a broader spectrum of the society. We are looking at we are looking at the previously disadvantaged, not only a few, but all of those previously disadvantaged. Right, with the BEE, it focuses only on three pillars that did not include all. Whereas now with the BEE, it focuses on, I'm going to say 5, not 7, because we're now focusing on 5 pillars. We call them the revised. They've been revised. Before there were 7, but now there are 5. We are looking at the revised 5 pillars, which includes all sectors of the society, especially previously disadvantaged. Don't forget our previously disadvantaged women. We are looking at people with disability. We're looking at Black people. So we continue with our journey. We are done with the distinction between BEE versus the BBBEE. Now we're going to go now to these 5 pillars that I spoke about. Right. So the first pillar, okay, now we've got Let's outline them. Let's list them. We're looking at management control. We're going to look at skills development. Then we move on to ownership, and then enterprise and supplier development. Lastly, we'll be looking at social responsibility. These are our 5 pillars. Don't forget them. 5 pillars. When you count them, they are 5. 5 pillars, not 7 or 3, but 5 pillars. Don't forget that. We're going to start with the first pillar, which is known as management control. Very important. It's management control, not management, but management control. So in management control, what happens here? It says appoint Black people. So now this is basically the application of this legislation, appointing Black people in senior executive positions and management. Don't forget, Black in this context, it refers to what? Remember, it refers to you Indians, it refers to your colors, as long as they are non-white. So that is That's how you can apply it. How do you apply black management control? Appoint black people in senior executive positions and management so that they can able to make decisions, as the second one says. Involve black people in the decision-making process. The only way for black people to make decisions is if they are in senior executive positions. Remember, senior decision-making is done by one person, preferably in a senior management position. Then we move on to the second one. Second one is skills development. I hope you can see this is not an act, but it's a pillar. An act is skills development act, but a pillar, it's skills development. So how can the business apply this? Businesses must engage black employees in skills development initiatives. Engaging black employees, people who are within the business, in skills development initiatives. What else can be done? By providing learnerships and learning programs to black employees. Take them for skills training, maybe. That's what you can do. Right, let's move on to the third one, which is ownership. Right, with ownership, businesses should include black people in shareholding. How do you do that? By selling shares to black people, selling shares. Now, don't forget, we've got the difference between ownership and management. When you're a manager, you're being appointed into a certain position based on what? On your skills and your expertise. Do you understand? But with ownership, here, you can be an owner without managerial skills. So as an owner, you are an owner by virtue of what? Of owning shares. So now, as a business, we should include black people. This is the application, don't forget, by selling shares to black people. Encourage small black investors to invest in big companies and share ownership. Right, so this is the fourth one, which is enterprise and supplier development, which is also known as ESD. So here, how can the business apply this pillar? Businesses must create jobs as enterprise and supplier development promotes local manufacturing. So you need suppliers who are also BEE compliant, who are compliant. So we need people who are going to supply us. They should be from the black community. Remember, black in this context, what we're referring to. So identify black-owned suppliers that are able to supply goods and services. Don't go to the suppliers that are not black, but you're looking at black-owned suppliers who are able to supply. Remember the keyword, who are able, who qualify, who have the skills, who have the expertise, who have the quality products that we need. So you're working with those. So enterprise supplier development. And then lastly, we're looking at social responsibility. Now, with social responsibility, businesses should focus on critical areas which can affect growth and development in the country. For example, unemployment or poverty. I repeat, businesses should focus on critical areas which can affect growth and development. So understand that when people are unemployed, they are unable to support our business. When people stay or live in a poverty-stricken environment, they are unable to supply, to support our business. So as a business, we have to basically identify such areas or focus on such areas. So as a business, what can we do? We should distribute scarce CSI resources to selected beneficiaries in the community. How so? By giving back to those businesses. That's what we need to do. We've got those initiatives, those projects that we can focus on to alleviate poverty, alleviating unemployment. So we need to think of ways to do this. Right, I think we've come to the end of the lesson. Right, so don't forget, we've got your BBBEE. We said it is the purpose. It's all about spreading wealth across the population groups. And then not only that, we looked at the implications and all of those 5 things that are the basic 5, but we said we've got the special aspects, which is the BEE versus BBBEE, and we also looked at the 5 pillars. Don't forget, they are 5. So we've come to the end of our lesson. Right, I'm just going to leave it here, and then I'll see you next time. From me, Miss Mabue, goodbye.